Hey there everybody, this just arrived from DHL all the way from Pakistan. So let's get this open and see what's inside. Okay, there's this box inside of the bag. It's covered with like boxing tape. Let's get that cut open and see what's in there. Well, this is what was inside the bag. It's got some weight to it. Let's get it out of that bubble wrap there. Okay, I got it to that point, and each thing here is still wrapped. Looks like there's some red oil on that. Almost like transmission fluid or some kind of red oil, so I'm sure it's to protect the blade because it's high carbon steel. But let's get this open and see what the final result is. Alright, look at that. I actually do business with this guy who calls himself Sufi Damascus, and you can find him on eBay, and he makes custom knives. He does Resident Evil knives and all kinds of other knives, and his products are pretty good. I actually bought a Resident Evil knife from him from Resident Evil 4. It was Krauser's knife, Jack Krauser, and it was really cool. I really liked it. Well, I got in contact with him, and I asked him if he could make me even a larger version of it. And he agreed. He said, no problem. And he did, and it turned out beautiful, and I've done reviews on it on my channel if you want to see both of those knives. But then recently from K-Bar, I got a Kephart knife. So let me bust that out real quick. Okay, and here it is. I forced a patina on it myself. That's what that coloration is on the blade. But this is a really nice Kephart knife. I mean, it's one of the best ones out there. It's got the hardwood handles, 3 bolts, full tang. It's really good steel. And it comes with a nice leather sheath. Just very basic. The spine isn't sharp when you get it though, because I guess the original Kepharts did not have a sharp spine. This is called the BK62. Well, I actually liked it a lot. I was like, this is a great little knife. To me, it seemed more like a backup knife, though. Like, it just wasn't quite large enough to do some of the chopping and batoning and the bigger camp chores that I wanted to do. And I always carry an axe or a hatchet anyhow. But I just felt like I would like to carry a larger knife and have this more with me also as a backup knife. Well, I got the idea. I was like, how about I talk to Sufi Damascus and I tell him what I was thinking. And what I was thinking was a cross between a large Bowie knife and a Kephart. Kind of came up with this design, and he fine-tuned it and took it to this next level, and I could not be happier. Wow, is this surprising. I told him I wanted like an old school kind of handle, just like the Kephart had. I wanted a little flare right here, which he put. I wanted it thick though. This had to be a strong chopper knife, like a 1/4 inch thick, because this one's actually quite thin. So what did he do? Look at that freaking beast, dude. A 1/4 inch stock of 5160 spring steel. And he even put, for Joe Doomsday, he put Doomsday on it, on both sides. Man, look at that. That looks so great. And you can see it almost kind of swoops, which would make you think it's like a Bowie knife, but that's a false swedge if you get over the edge there. So this is going to be great for making bow drill divots and anything like that, but it still has kind of that spear point tip, like a Kephart has. The only difference is it's a flat grind from the bottom clear to the top, just like a Kephart knife. Basically, this is the Doomsday Kephart, and that's what it's called, dude. And man, oh man, does this thing feel I want to swear, it feels so cool in the hand, dude. My goodness, that is freaking great. He just outdid himself. Like, this guy knows how to make knives. He knows what he's doing. And he asked me what kind of a sheath I wanted. I literally told him, I was like, I'm thinking like, kind of like dark brown. And I was like, make it in whatever style you think will work. He made this, and I mean, wow, dude. That's a pretty interesting sheath. I really like it. It certainly will do the job without adding a crap ton of weight. So that's all right. I like that a lot. But I want to get some of this oil cleaned off the blade so you can get a better look at it. But I'm kind of just stunned by this, dude. Like, there's a lot of weight in this handle. So it feels like so good. God, this is something else, dude. And I'm not saying that there was ever anything wrong with the Kephart knife. I like this as a lightweight belt knife. For this little small chores and for cooking and stuff, this is great. But if you want to do some batoning, some bushcraft, like chopping and bow drill making and things like that, with like a practically indestructible 5160 spring steel blade, I mean, this is like a Kephart on steroids. This is the Incredible Hulk Kephart. This is the Bruce Banner Kephart. Wow, is this thing cool. And like I said, I call it the Doomsday Kephart. It's an original idea. I've never seen anyone else make it. In ways, it resembles a throwing knife, but in other ways, it resembles a Bowie knife. But then it also resembles, in some gigantic way, a supersized Kephart. I mean, how could you not love this thing? It is so much more than I ever thought it would be. Sufi Damascus, he's a super awesome knife maker. And if you want a custom knife, or just one of his knives he already has made, I mean, go to his site. He's on eBay. You can type in Resident Evil 4 knives, and it'll bring up a lot of his stuff. Or just Sufi Damascus. I think his email is sufidamascus10@gmail.com, something like that. And just talk with the dude. He's a super cool dude, easy to get along with. And once this was done, it didn't take him very long, like a week maybe. It shipped from Pakistan. It took like 3-4 days. DHL Express here at my front door. No fuss, no muss. It even went through customs super fast. And I'm just like, I asked for a satin finish on this. He does mirror polish finishes. Satin, I mean, you name it, he can do it. Super awesome knife maker. And he can take your idea and take it to the next level, I'm telling you. This is so much more than what I had even hoped. Super awesome. Man, look at that. This is it in the sheath. It is not going anywhere. This thing is solidly locked in that sheath. It's got the big, like 4-inch belt loop dangler. Man, this strap here is just hooped through so it can slide around, adjust it where you want it. And it's got these 2 retention straps up here, double stitching. Then it's got like the leather designer stitch. It's got the full leather welt, brass rivets here. I mean, it just looks good, dude. This is a sexy knife. That's a sexy knife in a sexy sheath. Man, this is awesome. Well, let's get some measurements on this and see exactly what we're looking at here. Because this thing is freaking amazing. Okay, we're looking at just over 15 inches, about 15 1/4. And it's lined up just right. And the blade is about 9.5 inches. right there. About 9.5. Very nice. The handle is about close to 6 inches. Okay, let's see thickness here. Yep. It's just a hair over a full quarter. So it's definitely 1/4 of an inch thick. And the width of the handle overall is about an inch. Oh, let's see right here. Yeah, about an inch. Man, that is nice. Let's see here. You're looking at about 2 1/4, just past 2 1/4 at the wide point, at the belly here. And then it just kind of tapers down as you go. And let's see. The spine is sharp. I can tell just by feeling it. You could take a file to it and make it a little sharper if you wanted, but this would strike a fire steel. You can just feel the roughness there. Man, satin finished blade. Doomsday Kephart. It's got the false swedge on top, which you could sharpen if you wanted to. But this would be great for doing like bow drill divots. And man, that feels good. That's weighted really nice. Where is the balance point? Right there. Look at that. Oop, it's a little slippery with the oil. But let's try to do this right there. Balanced about as perfect as you could get. The brass pins, the hardwood handle. Looks like rosewood, I'm not sure. Regardless, it's a hardwood handle. Doomsday Kephart. That is something else. That's what the world hasn't seen yet. And now it has. Most of the people who watch my videos are pretty cool dudes. But every now and then I get a hater. There's probably going to be someone out there that's like, you missed the whole point of what a Kephart is supposed to be, and that's a stupid idea, and blah blah blah. The handle's too thick, it's too this, it's too that. Who knows what they'll say. Maybe they'll be like, you got to carry an axe. Who knows what I'll get. But I go out in the woods quite often. I use a lot of knives and quite a bit of hatchets and axes too. And I like a big chopper. Every now and then, more often than not, I take a hatchet, a big chopper, and then like a backup knife. Sometimes 2 backup knives. And this thing is designed for the woods. It's a Bowie knife and it's a Kephart knife combined. How could it be anything else? And it's made out of 5160 spring steel, high carbon spring steel. It's got the sharp spine, the flat grind the whole way down, the swedge tip. It's weighted perfectly. It's got a kick-ass sheath. I mean, what more do you want? Soupy Damascus, expert knife maker. Definitely recommend this guy. This is some quality stuff here. Okay, you probably want to see a cutting test. So I got a sheet of printer paper here. All I've done to this is wipe the oil off the blade. So let's see how sharp it come. Not shabby. Oh yeah. Look at that. Very, very sharp. Paper cutting sharp. Right out of the package. Quite sharp. All the way to the tip. It's definitely paper cutting sharp. Okay, that's about all I have for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed this custom knife, the DOOMSDAY KEPHART. It's an original design, an idea I came up with, and I had my knife guy, Sufi Damascus, go to work on it, and look at that. He is an excellent knife maker. And he pulled it off. Basically, it was supposed to be like a Rambo version of a Kephart knife. And he did it. And you might wonder, like, well, you know, it's what part of it's a Kephart knife? Well, it's like the old school handle, being that it's full tang, the spear point, the false wedge on the tip. The difference is that it also plays a role as a chopper, like a big Bowie knife, and it has the sharpened spine, and it's the upgraded 5160 spring steel. I think you can't go wrong with that. 1/4 inch thick. So this is probably less likely designed for like the fine camp chores that most people would use a Kephart for. But if you need to split wood or chop or anything a Bowie knife would be needed for, this will fill the role of a Bowie knife. But then it just has some of those old school features that a Kephart has, just jumbo sized. The knife is balanced beautifully, and I mean, I think it's a work of art. I really like it a lot. I think it was a good idea, and I think it turned out great. I really like the handle too. Man, that thing feels really great. At least in my hand it does. But that's all I have so far. It's just an unboxing for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is Joe Doomsday signing out.